Painter's tape. You probably have some lying around the house from your last home renovation project that you should have just hired professionals to do instead of giving up your weekend blowing out your back and knees, and in the end spending more money than they would have cost buying new brushes, drop cloths, and well, painter's tape. Since you're broke now, I'm going to show you how to use your painter's tape to make a budget stencil when you're painting fishing lures. We're going to take two like-sized pieces and push them together sticky side to sticky side. Then we're going to cut out a piece that's approximately the size of the bait that you're going to be painting, which today is a 2.5 square bill. Now it's time to cut out our pattern. You can use any pattern that you can think of, but if you don't have much of an imagination, try going to a fishing store and taking pictures of lure patterns that you like. I've done this and I got some weird looks, but I also got some good ideas. I'm not sure what this pattern's called, but it's kind of like a bone pattern, sort of a rib cage that goes down the middle of the bait. I already started with a base layer of opaque white. Now I'm going to add a pearl white. I don't know any jokes about pearls, so if you have any, don't be shellfish. Please share them in the comments. This next color I'm using is an opaque yellow. When I was a kid, this is the color that my dad told me my teeth would turn if I ever drank Mountain Dew. To this day, I've still never had a Mountain Dew, but if anyone from Mountain Dew is listening and wants to sponsor my channel, I'm definitely open to negotiations. I'll literally take any offer. Now I'm moving on to a wicked golden yellow. This is a favorite color of mine. I've used it before on the channel. It just blends with that yellow really well. Coming in next with an orangier color orange. I don't know how to say the name, so we'll just call it orangier orange. We're going to go on the back and on the shoulders of the bait here, but not completely cover up all the wicked golden yellow, because we want to see that those tiers in that fade up to a darker orange on the back there. I'm also going to darken the gills and eyes a little bit with this orange color here. Wow, is that stunning. Now we're going to hit it with just a stripe of the fluorescent orange across the back. That's lots of orange that I'm using here, but I really want the very back of that lure to pop and be fluorescent. Okay, I like what we got here. So we're ready to use our stencil. This is the trickiest part of using these painter's tape stencils, is getting that painter's tape back apart. I did actually rip this, but that's not the end of it. That you can still get it on the bait. You just have to be real careful with that and cover up that ripped area. Since we put those two pieces together, when we cut out that pattern, we have two identical shapes in reverse, so we have one for each side of the bait. And I'm trying to align, when I'm putting this stencil on, I'm trying to align it with, there's sort of a line that goes down these blanks, and a lot of them have it. You'll see right there, and I'm trying to align that so that when I do the other side, I kind of have a reference for where I want to put that, and I want to make sure that those look as similar as possible before I start painting. Okay, I'm pretty happy with this. Okay, now I really want this to contrast, so I'm using opaque black, which is one of the most used paints that I have, and I want to fill in every piece of the uncovered part here. One thing that I'll note on this is I don't like to thin my opaque black very much, if I have to even at all. During this process, I'll just turn up the PSI to shoot a bit of a thicker paint there. And the reason is I don't want it to bleed under that tape and cause any bleeding. I want those lines to be crisp, and that's why I'll dry it off there too before I do the big reveal. And here I go, pulling back the paint. Moment of truth. This is always the exciting part when you're using any kind of stencil. And look at that. It's different, I'll tell you that. It's not exactly what I had intended, but I'm really happy with this. I think it looks pretty cool. And I'm going to do some detail work in a second too to kind of fill in any imperfections or any areas that I don't 100% like. As you can see there, I darkened the gills and the eyes a little bit and the top of the head. I didn't like the way that line started from that stencil, and that just kind of helped to blend that in. Now I'm going in with an actual store-bought stencil, which goes against, everything that I'm trying to do here, but man, it does look good. And I'm just filling in some dots on the gill plates, and then you can see that speckle pattern across the top as well. If I was good enough to make my own stencil that looked like that, I'd use my own, but sometimes it's nice to chalk up the 15 bucks and just get a nice stencil online. I'm doing the eyes here. I found a really cool eye that matches the colors of the bait, and I'm doing just the smallest dab of super glue because I did have an issue with clear coating one time where my eyes fell off in the clear coat, and that was a mess. So now I just do a little tiny bit of super glue just to avoid that problem. Makes those eyes stay on there real good. And then, yeah, this is what we came up with, and I'm really pleased with it. It's different. Here we go, give them a dip. I'm terrible at the clear coating phase, so if anybody has any advice there's probably better products out there than the KBS diamond coat that I'm using. I tend to get a lot of bubbles, so I get frustrated. Sometimes I shake the baits around in there, which makes more bubbles. Terrible idea. I'm going to clear coat a couple other baits that I painted earlier this week as well, so I figured I'd just include that. It's good to save up a lot and do them all at once. The toxins or the fumes that you breathe from this clear coater, I'm pretty sure killing me, so I try to do them all at once and get it over with. Yeah, I used a stencil on that green one too, and that blue one I didn't, but here's the final product. Really happy with it, so hope you guys liked it. All right, see you next time.